All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we have to do a tournament recap. Okay, last night on YouTube, I streamed a Win-A-Box tournament. Okay, so for those who might be new to the channel, every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday here on YouTube, I stream from 9 p.m. Eastern to 12 a.m. Okay, we do that every single week, guys. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from 9 p.m. Eastern to 12 a.m. we stream right here on YouTube. Okay, and we had a Win-A-Box tournament last night that we were streaming, and it was a really good time, but we're going to talk about that more as we get into the video. Okay, in fact, excuse me, let me go ahead and break down the video real quick so we can dive straight into this. First things first, we're going to talk about the leader representation. I have a list of all the leaders that were present in the tournament. It was an OP12 legal tournament. And after that, we're going to check out the top 8 deck lists. Okay, we're going to check out all 8 of the top 8 decks that were in the tournament, or that made it into the top 8, if that makes more sense. And then after that, we're going to check out one game from the tournament. We're going to check out the finals game. Okay, and that'll pretty much be it. Okay. So like usual, guys, or as usual, I'll have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant links and stuff like that and deck lists in the comment section below. All right, if you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link will be in the channel description. Today's video is brought to you by Nin Garden. To celebrate their 1-year anniversary, they're thanking the fans with a huge sale. Pre-orders are now open for the King of Hearts and Cotton Candy playmats, available while supplies last. And you can use my code, the VV Theory, at the checkout for an extra 5% off on your next order. All right, guys, let's go ahead and break down the, let's go through the leader breakdown of the tournament. Now, this was a 64-player, free-to-enter Discord Win-A-Box tournament that took place on the sim, okay? And if you want more details on this kind of stuff, or if you want to take place in one in the future, you need to hop on the Discord, guys. The link is in the channel description. Okay, it was a 64-player tournament. I believe we had 90 players sign up for it, but of course it was first come, first serve. And 62 out of the 64 players made it to the tournament, and this is the leader representation from the tournament. Okay, I'm going to start off at the very top here, guys. I'm going to zoom in and we'll go through it all. So there were 6 Rayleighs. Rayleigh was the most popular leader, okay? Rayleigh was the most popular leader, okay? And there were some 5s in here, but 6 was the most of an individual leader. Okay, 3 Red Shanks. Good to see that leader back. Did not do great. I don't think any of them made the top 8 list, but hey, it happens, you know? We had one, I think it was ST21 Luffy. It just said Red Luffy. I would imagine it was the ST21 Luffy versus the ST01 Luffy. One Sanji, 1 Dragon, and then we had 1 Red-Green Smoker, Marco, Red-Purple Kid, Red-Black Garp, and 2 Red-Yellow Bellow Bettys. Okay, so that was it for the red representation and red with a the multicolored red decks as well. Okay, moving on from there, there was 5 green Zoros, 4 green Bonney, 1 Jinbe, okay, 1 Carrot, 3 green-purple Luffys, and 1 green-yellow Arlong. Okay, moving down the list. We had 5 blue Kuzans, 2 blue Buggies, 1 Sakazuki, blue-black Sakazuki, and 1 blue-yellow Nami. All right, we're almost done, guys. We got 1 purple Luffy, 4 purple-black Luffys, 1 purple-yellow Nico Robin, 1 Lucci, 2 black-yellow Koala. Very interesting that we had 2 black-yellow Koalas already. You love to see it. And then 1 black-yellow Luffy. And then we had 5 yellow Eustace Kid, 2 yellow Enel, 2 yellow Calgara, and 1 yellow Katakuri. So, guys, pretty good representation here all around. I think most of the top, like these, the decks that had the highest representation, I don't think that's too surprising, right? Seeing 6 Rayleighs, 3 Shanks, 5 Zoro, 4 Bonney, 3 green-purple Luffy, 5 blue Kuzan. So, guys, Kuzan has become a leader that a lot of people are interested in. I will probably be doing a video on Kuzan, well, another video on Kuzan very soon talking about this leader. It seems like the West is way more excited about Kuzan than the East was, and maybe it has to do with the bans and restrictions update. Who knows? Whatever the case is, blue Kuzan, 5 leaders present in a 62-player tournament, okay? And then we have 4 purple black Luffy. That was pretty. This is the most surprising one to me, that there were 4 purple black Luffy players. Okay, 2 black yellow Koala was interesting as well, but only 2, nothing too crazy. And then 5 yellow Eustace Kid, and only 2 Enel. I expected those numbers to be reversed. I expected it to be 5 yellow Enel and 2 yellow Eustace Kid. But hey, that's not too bad. 2 Calgara is nice, and 1 Katakuri. Now we have to talk about a few leaders that are not on here. I'm very disappointed. No, I'm just kidding. But no red, yellow Sabo. Not even one. No red, yellow Sabo in a VV Theory win-a-box tournament. Outrageous. Outrageous. No, I'm just kidding, guys. But no, that made me a little bit sad that there wasn't a single red, yellow Sabo or a single blue, yellow Ace, guys. Blue, yellow Nami. We will take blue, yellow Nami. But no red, yellow Sabo. No blue, yellow Ace. I'm going to cry. No. And then no green, yellow Trafalgar Law. No green, yellow Trafalgar Law. I was so surprised by that. And then last but not least, I didn't notice any blue purple Luffys, which I think that list still has to be figured out now with the bans and restrictions in place. I think that's the main reason we didn't see blue purple Luffy pop up. Other than that, I think the leader definitely, has some potential. Okay, now this was a free-to-enter tournament, so we do see a bunch of random decks in here, like, we got 1 red-black Garp in here, we got a single Carrot, we got Arlong, all the blue stuff's pretty serious, I'm not going to lie. We had a purple-yellow Nico Robin, you love to see that. We did have Koala. Black-yellow Luffy is starting to pop back up, and, with PRB02, Black-yellow Luffy might be able to do some stuff here soon, guys, in October. And then we had even Katakuri popping up as well. But other than that, we had a bunch of pretty serious decks on here, guys. Like some decks that were definitely trying to compete. Dragon and Sanji, he knows about that. But hey, Rayleigh and Shanks, you love to see it. Okay, so that's it for the leader representation. So now we are actually going to zoom out a little bit here, and we are going to check out some deck lists from the top 8. Okay, first up. All right, top 8, guys. You ready for this? Actually, let me go through each one, and then we'll let me tell you guys the entire top 8, and then we'll break down each list. We had 1 blue Kuzan, 1 black-yellow Koala, very nice, 1 green Jinbe, then we had a green-purple Luffy, then we had Enel, purple Luffy, and then 2 green jewelry Bonnies, okay? We'll talk about these as we go through them. Okay, so... whoops, this isn't the slide. So first up, we're going to go over this Kuzan list. I'm going to shrink my head down so we can see this a little bit better. Let me go full screen. Let me shrink my camera down a little bit, and we'll go through these decks here. So this was the blue Kuzan list, and I think everything looks pretty straightforward here. I'm surprised they were only running 1 Zephyr, but at the same time, when you look at all the different 2K counters here, they were running 2 Gion, 4 Suru, and only 1 Zephyr. So it seemed like they were a little bit low on the 2K counter count, but I think that's probably because they were trying to fit in these 4 Cavendish as well. It made it into the top 8 in this tournament, so it was definitely doing something right. I would have preferred to see maybe an extra Sakazuki over a Cavendish or something like that, or maybe even -2 Cavendish to go +1 Sakazuki and +1 2K counter Zephyr, because Zephyr can draw you cards like crazy, right? Because it's something like, I think the on play is trash 2 cards, and then activate main, you can trash the card to bounce I think it's a 5 or less to the owner's hand or something like that. Cavendish does make a lot of sense, though, because one thing that I felt that this deck did not have is early game. Excuse me. The mid to late game is outrageously good because you go, okay, I'm going to go Kuzan into Garp plus Sakazuki, and now my board is completely stacked. I'm shutting down attacks. Well, at least when I played out Kuzan, I shut down an attack, and then I'm drawing cards with Sakazuki. Garp is flooding the board, and, we're off to the races, right? So mid to late game, this deck really doesn't need much help, but it feels like last time that I messed with this leader, it felt like the early game is where we were struggling. Like, okay, turn 1 Tashigi Searcher's fine, and maybe even turn 2 Sengoku, that's fine. But what about when we're on the even curve on like a 4 Dawn turn? Playing out Sengoku on 4 does not feel great. I mean, you do what you have to do, and it's never a bad play per se, but what if we could establish something like a Cavendish? And I think that's one thing that's missing from Blue Kuzan, is just an absolutely disgusting 4-drop play. Yes, there is Borsalino, as you guys can see over here, but at the same time, is that really what we're looking for Kuzan. Like, Borsalino's fine. There's nothing wrong with Borsalino. Don't misunderstand me. But I'd rather have something that's a bit more aggressively, you know, a bit more of an aggressive mindset with this Cavendish. I like what they did adding that, where now they get to slam it down on 4 and just start attacking. Like, hey, you have to deal with this card now. All right, and if you want to attack into my Cavendish, that's a 6,000 power character. It's going to be easier for me to defend Cavendish than you attacking into my face. Okay. Other than that, everything seems pretty straightforward. I like the Rosinantes in here. We got the 2K counter Hina as well. Sorry, guys, I did miss this. This is another 2K counter. So they're actually running 4 Suru, 4 Hina, and then 1 Zephyr and 2 Gion. So that is 11 2K counters. So again, I would still like to see Zephyr go up 1, maybe even go -1 Hina to go +1 Zephyr just to kind of balance it. But Hina is a very good card to help you close out games because it can help you become unblockable in certain situations. Okay, either way, awesome list. You love to see Kuzan popping up into the top 8. Now, let's go to the next list. Okay, Black Yellow Koala. Let's go full screen here. Can you guys see this? Yeah, good enough. Okay, we got Black Yellow Koala here. Looks like we can scroll over. There we go. Get nice and centered. Okay, a lot to talk about here. So I've had complaints about Black Yellow Koala for quite some time now because it doesn't have a way to interact with my opponent's board. At least not the current way I'm playing it. But look at what this list is doing, guys. They are running the 7-cost Teach and the 9-cost Stussy. I've seen people run Stussy before, I think. I don't love that. I'm not going to lie, I don't love the card, but it's also not terrible either. It's not like it's a bad card. But man, seeing the 7-cost Teach is interesting, and I'm surprised at that point, maybe you run more of the Bello Betty 2K counter up here, and maybe even run some Tempest Kicks, some way to reduce the cost of characters. That could be very, very strong, or who knows, maybe instead of running Stussy, maybe you actually run Kuzan at that point. Because guys, imagine if you go, okay, 8 Dawn turn, slam down Marshall D Teach, 10 Dawn, and then KO a 3 or less, obviously. And then 10 Dawn turn, you slam down Kuzan, you KO a 5 or less, and then an 8 or less with the Marshall D Teach. In fact, who knows, maybe that should be the direction going forward, because think about it like this, guys. If you're on the even curve, right? If you're on the even curve, you can go 8 Dawn, play out Marshall D Teach, and then Tempest Kick to -3 cost to a character. You can hit a 6 or less. So that could hit most targets you probably need at that point. And then on the next turn, on your 10 Dawn turn, you could drop down a Kuzan, and now you're hitting an 8 or less with the Marshall D Teach. A 5 or less with the Kuzan, and an 8 or less with the Marshall D Teach. And who knows, maybe Bello Betty, maybe we need to run more of those in the future. We'll have to see. So either way, I think this is still a really cool looking deck here. Really big fan of this. They're only running, so they're running 4 of the Koala Searchers. They're running 4 of the Event Searcher. They got 2 Ursus Shocks. I love that. That's yet another reason, by the way, that maybe Kuzan, maybe we'll have a future with Kuzan with Black Yellow Koala if we mess with more of this blocker heavy idea and just try to get to the late game with teaching stuff. If we slam down a Koala, or excuse me, a Kuzan, man, that might just be game over. Because with Ursus Shock in hand, we're popping anything. With the Marshall D Teach, we're popping 8s. And yeah, maybe there could be something to that. We'll have to see. Now, this list is a little bit all over the place. They're even running 2 Nico Robins, which is searchable with the Koala Searcher. It's running 4 Kuma, as to be expected, along with the 4 Dragon. That's pretty much a match made in heaven. Really big fan of the Nico Robin. You slam this down on curve, going second, right on 6, and boom, you're trashing 2 cards from your opponent's hand. Absolutely brutal. Total brutality. They got the 2K counter Morley. So let's see how many 2K counters we have here. We have 4 Morley, 1 Bello Betty, and 4 Kuma. So that's 9 2K counters, I believe. Let me make sure I'm not missing any. Yeah, it looks like we have 9 2K counters. It would be nice to go plus a few 2K counters. Maybe, do we need Nico Robin? Maybe we do, maybe we don't. Whatever we decide, it would be nice to go up maybe a few more Bello Bettys if we're going to have access to this Marshall D Teach. Because I do really like the idea of running Teach in here. It can pull back any of your black cards from the trash. So you can even grab back Monkey D Dragon. That would be incredible. Once we get to that point, if you had to lose a dragon earlier on from a search or something, could be really, really nice. Awesome list here. Makes me want to play Black Yellow Koala. Okay, now let's move on to the next list. Jinbe. Okay, all right, here we go, guys. Now for the real deck. No, I'm just kidding. For the real decks, right? I'm just kidding, guys. Jinbe, though, how awesome is this? Made it into the top 8, and this was one of the first games we watched. I think this was the first game we watched in the top 8. Did not win. Okay, spoiler warning. We're going to talk about what won at the end. Jinbe did not win the whole thing, but Jinbe did very, very well. Okay, check it out. It's running 4 Cami Searchers. It's running 2 Beige Blockers. We got 3 Vanderdeckens for removal. 3 of the 3 cost Arlong. I really like this card. I'd like to see more of these. It's got Tashigi's, Arlong, Jinbe. I'm not going to go through the whole list. Let me just say this. There were a few cards that stood out to me that I really like. Vanderdecken, of course, is going to be really strong in a deck that has this much Fishman support in it, right? Because I believe you have to trash a Fishman or Fishman Island support or type character to get the KO on a arrested character. Well, that's perfect. We're just going to slam this down, pop their character, and move about our day, you know, go about our business. So big fan of that. They are running the Paradise Waterfalls in here, which is really cool. They have a single Dead Man's Game at the bottom left here in case you can't see that. They're running 3 Hody Jones. I would actually probably just prefer running 4 Hody Jones over the Dead Man's Game. That's just me personally. But hey, the list, it cooks for sure. Still looks really, really good. We got Fisher Tiger over here and the 6-cost Jinbe. This 6-cost Jinbe going into something like Dracula Mihawk or the Hody Jones is probably what makes the deck even possible, because we already know how good Dracula Mihawk is, we know how good Hody Jones is, and we already know how good Doflamingo is. Okay, well, what do we do on like our 5 and 6 Dawn turn? Well, in this deck, we actually have access to Fisher Tiger and Jinbe, and I think those transitional pieces going into the late game are really, really solid. In fact, I would probably like to see like -1 of the Bonney to go +1 Fisher Tiger, because if we're stuck going first, okay, of course we have turn 1 Cami into turn 2 Arlong, and if we don't have the Fisher Tiger in our hand, if we couldn't find it early enough, then that could hurt us a little bit. Who knows? I mean, you know, Bonney's still good to play out on a 5 Dawn turn if you have to, but I'd rather save that till later in the game, because it helps us fix our hand as well, you know, because we're going to draw 2 trash 1 with the effect if we set it up properly. So I do like the Bonnies in there, but I'd rather something more aggressive happen every time through something like Fisher Tiger. And then going into our 7 Dawn turn, of course, we have Hody Jones. 9 Dawn turn is going to be weird, but you could just like line up Dracula Mihawk and do something else from there and go from there. But on our 10 Dawn turn, we get to play Doflamingo. The even curve with this deck is actually... Guys, hear me out. The even curve with this deck is just completely degenerate, and I love it, right? I mean, it's gross, because you get to go something like, okay, turn 1 Cami, or, you know, turn 1 Cami plus blocker, I don't know, whatever you want to do, it doesn't matter. Turn 2, you can play out Arlong like we talked about going first, or you can play out the 4-cost, you know, the 3-cost Arlong, or the 4-cost Arlong. And now you're shutting down your leader's attack, your opponent's attack, because, you know, remember, going second, they attacked first, right on the last turn, and you're a 5-life leader. You're probably going to take that and say thanks for the cards, and now you're going to lock down their leader attack for next turn, when it would have been maybe more relevant. And then going into your 6th Dawn turn, you have this Jinbe. This card's an absolute all-star within Jinbe. Go figure. And this card's going to help you battle for the board. And then from there, on your next turn, you have 8-cost Dracula Mihawk. So you're going to get 8 Dawn to work with. And then you're also going to get, excuse me, you're going to play out Dracula Mihawk for 8 Dawn. You're going to get 4 Dawn back to work with for the turn. So you could do something like slam down a Vanderdecken to KO one of their characters, or play out the Tashigi sitting with 1 Dawn active for your, you know, Paradise Waterfall or your Vagabond Drill. Just so much to do there with the Dracula Mihawk. And then, last but not least, 10 Dawn turn, slamming down Doflamingo, ripping their face off with that. Guys, this Doflamingo, we're probably going to talk more about it later. It is an all-star. Even still, guys, Doflamingo is still an absolute all-star within green. It kind of always has been, probably always will be. Locking down 3 potential attacks while developing a 10,000 power body. Guys, we'll take it literally every single time. We'll take it every single time. Really good stuff here. Always love to see these rogue decks make it into the top 8 of tournaments like this, because even though it was only a 64-player tournament, it was still very serious. There was a box on the line here. People were trying to win a box. Okay, so, you know, people were definitely trying very hard. Okay, next up we have a green-purple Luffy list. Let's go full screen here. We got a green-purple Luffy list. Let me zoom out just a little bit. There we go. Is that better? Yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay, So here we go. Green, purple, Luffy. Pretty straightforward list here. These are all alt-arts. That's why it looks like this. It's some people who might be newer to the game might not recognize all these cards. This is the Searcher Nami. This is not the standard 2K counter Usohachi. This is the standard Usohachi we always see. This might just be a filler 2K counter that's searchable. Otherwise, it's a Dawn times 1 when attacking effect. I don't think I've ever seen someone even do the Dawn times 1 when attacking effect. But either way, it is a searchable 2K counter within Straw Hat. And then we have this Nico Robin. This is the EB02 blocker Nico Robin. This is 2K counter Usohachi like we were saying. Then we have the 4-cost Searcher Zoro. Of course, we have the Sanji and Pudding, the 2K counter Sanji, 7-cost Luffy Taro, 6-cost Luffy, the secret Luffy from EB02, Gum Gum Jet Gatling. And then we have the stage. We have, and this is the Dead Man's Game event, the Searcher event, Gum Gum Giant, Frankie, the Dawn fixing card, Frankie, and then we have one 2-sword style Rashomon. So pretty solid, pretty straightforward list here. One card that I have seen people run in green, purple Luffy, and I really like the card. I'd like to see more people run it. Is the 3-cost three-cost green event, Electrical Luna. I couldn't remember the name of it. Yeah, Electrical Luna, I think, is just a really, really strong card, and it just wins games, guys. Every now and then, Electrical Luna could just straight up win you a game. And I think it has a pretty decent trigger as well to tap down a character. So, I mean, it's just all around a solid card. In fact, I personally would probably even run it over Rashomon, but I think that the 2-sword style Rashomons are in the deck for Rayleigh for all the go wide decks, because I think it has pay 1 and then pay 2 more, and you can KO up to 2 of your opponent's characters with a base cost of 4 or less. Yeah, you can hit 2 4 or less characters with that for 3 Dawn, as long as they're rested. So really good stuff there. Okay, other than that, this is a very straightforward list, guys. No Electrical Luna, which is not a big deal. I've also seen people run stuff like Gamma Knife before, but that's about it, guys. I don't know if I've ever seen someone run the Usohachi, but I think it's just a purple searchable 2K counter. You could run something like Franosuke in the place of this if you want to. I don't think it really matters, though, other than that. Okay, good stuff here, but very straightforward. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, next up we have Enel. Let me zoom in here. Okay, here we go. We've got a yellow Enel list. Not the best quality. Y'all bear with me, but I think we can see what's going on here. Now this, I believe this is Dragon's list. Got to give a big shout out to Dragon. He's been working on this yellow Enel list for a while. It's kind of focusing on a Supernova package. How cool is this, guys? So this, Enel got the 1-cost Searcher Luffy, the 2-cost Beige. And for all the other Supernova stuff, you have Basil Hawkins, Eustace Kidd, and the 7-cost Trafalgar Law. Okay, so there's quite a few searchable, really powerful searchable Supernova cards in this deck, including X-Drake. Excuse me, X-Drake is also a 2K counter that is Supernova searchable. And really cool stuff here. It's still running some of just the powerhouse cards you would expect to see in Enel right now, like Kuma, like the 10-cost Enel, like Zeus. You have all the stuff you would expect to see in here, along with a few other really cool tech cards, like the Charlotte Brûlée here for a trigger 3-cost blocker, and Kikanojo, which is just a great trigger card to have at any and all times, right? So really good stuff here. 4 of the 0-cost event, 4 of the 2K counter Beige for some protection from your life. And that's about it. That's like the entire list. And the whole idea behind this one is, Enel, there's multiple ways to build Enel right now, right? So you can build it more of the Starve build, or something in between, maybe like an aggro, mid-range, or control. You can build it in all kinds of different ways. Well, with this version here, it's Supernova, and it's meant to be more, okay, I want to curve out so that my early game doesn't feel wasted. And that's not to say your early game's wasted if you're running Starve, because you might run the 4-cost Kuzan to push cards in their life, and so on and so forth. It's not a total waste. But the idea is you're pushing all these cards to their life, and now you don't get to attack into them. You have to wait till later in the game once you establish a full board. So with this deck, with this version here, it's not trying to starve them. It's trying to just deal with things on the board as it comes, and as it goes. And then you're just going to kind of curve out with this Kuma, 6, 7, 8, 10-cost characters here. Kuma into the 7-cost Law, into Eustace Kidd, into Enel. You can just go from, however it lines up with your curve. Speaking of which, I think with a deck like this, it actually has a really, really insane even curve. Because turn 1, you can play out the Searcher or set up with the Capone Beige, right, and go from there. And then turn 2, you get to slam down Kikinojo or Basil Hawkins. That's just a great turn 2 play in any deck that's running yellow. Both have really powerful on-play effects. And then for your 6 Dawn turn, of course, you have Kuma, into 8 Dawn Eustace Kid, into 10 Dawn Enel. So it just kind of... It just seems like it kind of just gets there, right? Or at least that it can just get there. So really, really cool stuff here. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. So that was Enel. Okay, now we got 3 more decks, guys. We got a purple Luffy that made it into the top 8. Okay, we got a purple Luffy here that made it into the top 8. This is a very standard list. It is basically just one of the original purple Luffy style deck lists with basically just one card of an upgrade. It just runs 4 of the 8 cost Katakuri. Everything else is what you'd expect to see, you know, for quite some time now for purple Luffy. It's running the 4 of the Trafalgar Law Searchers. It's got the 2K counter Usohachi, the Dawn Ramp, Mr. 2 Bankrei Bentham. Of course, it's got the Zoros, the Sangoro, Sanji 2K, Sanji 7 cost, Luffy Taro, and the 9 cost Luffy. So it's meant to just curve out, put on pressure, and say, hey, you're going to have to answer the threats I'm putting on the board. I'm not going to answer your cards. You're going to have to answer my cards. And that's what this deck does. Even still, guys, we're in OP12. This was an OP12 legal meta, and here we are, right? I mean, this is awesome to see. So the 8 cost Katakuri is just a strict upgrade to any purple list right now, so I understand running that. The card gets so much value, right? You slam it down on your 8 Dawn turn, and of course, this is a purple Luffy deck, so you ramp super consistently, and then from there, it just attacks, blocks, attacks, blocks, attacks, blocks every single turn. This is like probably the strongest offensive plus defensive card we've ever seen in the game in the 8 cost Katakuri. Okay, so as far as this deck goes, I think you pretty much always want to go first. You'll go turn 1, Searcher Law. Turn 2, Leader Effect, cheat out the Mr. 2, Bankrei Bentham, or the Zoro. Let's just say you do the Zoro. Okay, so now you're on 4 Dawn. Next turn, you're on 6 Dawn, but you can actually just ramp again to go to 7. And in fact, you wouldn't have to if you got the Mr. 2 Bankrei Bentham. But either way, let's just say you ramp and get to 7. Now you're playing out the Luffy Taro, cheating out a Sangoro or a Zoro or whatever. And then from there, you're down to 6 Dawn. But then you go back up to 8 Dawn, and that's where you slam down the Katakuri. And it kind of fixes everything Purple Luffy was doing. That 8 cost Katakuri fixes everything that Luffy was doing, where it's like, okay, what do I do now that I slammed down the 7 cost Luffy? Where I went turn 1 Searcher into turn 1 Searcher into turn 2, let's just say Zoro Juro, into turn 3 Luffy Taro plus Sangoro or another Zoro, and now I'm on an 8 Dawn turn. What do I do? You know, before people were going, okay, I'm going to take another life card and draw a card from that and ramp it on to 9, play out the 9 cost Lin to gain my life right back and push my opponent's character out of the way while establishing a 9 cost body. I think that still should probably be in the list. I would literally probably run that over the 9 cost Luffy. That's just me. That's just me. But I would probably run the 9 cost Lin even over the 9 cost Luffy. But whatever the case is, in this deck, you can just slam that down as well. That's another option you have. But now we have this 8 cost Katakuri where we don't even have to take another life card. We can just on 8 play out Katakuri. And at that point, maybe you still do end up taking a life card if you've stabilized enough. Excuse me, because you'll go to 9 Dawn, 1 Dawn active for Gum Gum Giant, and at the end of your turn, you're going to go up to 10 Dawn anyway with the Charlotte Katakuri, with his end of your turn effect, right? So really, really awesome stuff here. Guys, Purple Luffy is still in it, okay? He is still doing just fine. Purple Luffy is a rock-solid deck here, guys. Very, very strong stuff here. And this deck is running 4 of the Hitakiri Kamazos. I'm thinking that's meant to help out more with the Rayleigh matchup, because guys, Rayleigh is flooding the board with a bunch of 1, 2, 3, and 4 cost characters. Well, I think Hitakiri Kamazo has your turn once per turn. When you return a Dawn card, you're going to be able to KO a 2 or less character on their side of the field. So it's not a great card, but it's also not worthless, right? It can help you take care of some of the pesky cards. It can even help you take care of, you know, some searchers or chump blockers or whatever. There is a lot of potential with that card. Okay, very good stuff here. Let's move on to the next 2, guys. We got 2 left. Okay, we got 2 left, and they are both Bonney decks. Okay, this is the second place Bonney list. We got Scratchman-a-Poo in here. Pretty standard looking list for Bonney right now for OP12. We've got the Mihawks. Scratchman-a-Poo, nice searchable 2K counter for Supernova. Got 2 Kitten Killers and 2 Jory Bonnies. Kind of going, kind of has some options here. Okay, how do I say this? Bonney is really good because it kind of acts as a blocker, right? You slam this card down, you start doing searching, and if they want to attack into it, sure. Okay, now it ended up working as a 1K counter in my hand, or better, and then it also searched me a card up. So it replaced itself and got a card out of the way. Just an incredible card. But Kitten Killer is in this deck because it also searches like Bonney does. However, Kitten Killer is a really good way to play around Hody Jones. So in other words, if you're playing against an opponent that has Hody Jones, they rest your Dawn down for your leader effect. Okay, no problem. I'm going to use Kitten Killer, activate my main, and I'm going to stand a Dawn as active. You've already done your own play effect, so I can use that Dawn now however I want to. So really, really good stuff here. I like including the Kitten Killer. Tashigi, 2K counter, kind of speaks for itself. This is basically the best anti-removal card in the game for green. Then we have Urouge, we have Basil Hawkins, we have Cavendish, of course. Carrot is very strong right now, locking down the faster, more aggro decks like Silver's Rayleigh. You just lock down their stuff, right? Oh, okay, that's a nice whatever card it might be, whatever card they were attacking with, like Kitten Killer. I'm just going to lock that down for the rest of the game. So really good stuff with Carrot. Then we have 2 of the 5 cost Bonney here. Really good card. 2K counter X-Drake. 4 Hody Jones. Guys, we know how strong this card is. This should go without saying at this point. We got 1 Eustace Captain Kidd. We got 4 Kashiro, if I didn't mention that. We have 3 Draco Mihawk. 2 of the 9 cost Zoro. The 9 cost Zoro is actually very strong into Enel in certain decks, like maybe even Blackbeard and stuff like that. So it is a, or it can be good into Blackbeard, it really depends, but it's definitely good into Enel. So Zoro's a solid card, but I wonder if it's better off as like a 1-of or something like that. We'll have to see, you never know. And then they're running 3 Shanks down here. Notice at the bottom here, guys, there's 3 Shanks, 2 Doflamingo, and 1 of the 0 cost events. So pretty good stuff here. Pretty straightforward list. A lot of cards I see in a lot of different Bonney decks, but it looks like they've really spread the deck pretty thin here, going as far as they can into as many different tech cards as possible. And when it comes to playing in a tournament where you're trying to win, you need as many options as possible. Big fan of this one. Really good stuff here. Now, I said this is the second place list, right? Well, the first place list, it was a mirror match in the finals. Whoops. Hang on, let me go full screen here. This is the first place list. Okay, I believe the second place list there was Von Morrow, and this one was Lysol. So big shout out, congratulations to Lysol for winning the Win-A-Box tournament with Green Jewelry Bonney. Really good stuff here. This was just awesome, right? This was, I mean, having this kind of, how do I say this? A Bonney versus Bonney finals, I actually think it could not have been a much better mirror match than that. That might sound very boring to some people, like, oh, here we go, guys, it's going to be a 30-minute game. It's like, well, that's what I want my finals to be, right? If I'm like, you know, I'm stuck commentating it, right? I'm trying to commentate these finals. I don't want it to be like a 2-minute game like Zoro or Red Rayleigh versus, I don't know, like Red Yellow Bello Betty or something. I don't want it to be like a 5-minute game. Like, oh, okay, well, that was fun. They just ran each other over, or they didn't, and that was game. No, we had a Bonney versus Bonney finals. How awesome is that, guys? It was legendary. It was a really good game. We're going to talk about it in just a second, okay? So here we go. Let me run through this list. Very similar to the last Bonney list that we just looked at. Very, very similar. It's running 4 Scratchman-a-Poo, but this version is running 4 Jory Bonney and not running the Kitten Killers. 4 Jory Bonney, no Kitten Killers. I don't hate that. I don't dislike it. I understand it completely, and obviously it works, right? But here's the thing. I do like a few Kitten Killers in the list. I don't know how you'd make room for it. It does come down to moving your Bonney selection around, or maybe even these beige we'll talk about in a second. It does come around to moving a few cards, but at the end of the day, I think Jory Bonney is the safer bet, and it works as a blocker like we're saying, and there are other ways to play around something like Hody Jones. We don't have to run the Kid and Killer, but it is nice to have that option. Okay, for Kishiro, 3 of the Capone Gang Beige. This one, let me see if we can zoom in. We can. This is the one. It's a blocker. It's a 2-cost, 1,000 power, 1k counter blocker. On play, if you have 6 or more rested cards, draw 1 and trash 1 card from hand. Really good cycling. Green is finally getting some pretty decent cycling options. The card draw has kind of always been there for the most part, but they haven't had the best cycle options, and there is a difference, right? When you're stuck playing a lot of top-end cards, you want a few cycle options in your deck. So it's like, okay, I don't think I'm going to need 3 of these 9-cost Shanks maybe, right? Like, say you have a bunch of them. Well, you might want to draw a card and cycle 1, right? Or in the case of Bonney, draw 2, trash 1 for the on-play there. Well, maybe if I have 2 Shanks in hand, I'll draw 2 and just trash 1 of the Shanks because I'll probably only need 1. That's the logic there, and it's a brick in hand otherwise, right? So it is really nice to see these, to see a green get some cycle options. And then 4 of the 2k counter Tashigi, the card's just insane. We got Uruge here, 3 Uruge, 3 Basil Hawkins 2k counter, in your turn, stand up a Dawn. 4 Cavendish, obviously 4 Carrot. Notice that was 4 Cavendish and 4 Carrot seems like the way to go, and 4 Hody Jones. That seems like the way to go right now for maybe anything green Supernova leader based, right? It just makes sense. It's also a perfect curve too if you think about it, guys. Going turn 3, going first with Cavendish on 5 Dawn, and then turn 4 on 7 Dawn, slamming down a Hody Jones, swing in with the Cavendish, get 2 Dawn back as active, and go from there. I mean, that's a lot of problems just waiting to happen, right? There's a lot of stuff that can happen there. You know, your opponent's going to be in a lot of trouble. Got the Carrots, got the Bonnies, got the Hody Jones. Then we got 4 Mihawk, 4 Doflamingo. Okay, we got 4 Doflamingos here, and then we got the 3 Shanks. Maybe I will include the interview at the end of this video, so that way y'all can hear that as well, because I did talk to Lysol. We talked a lot about all the different stuff in the deck, and man, hey, Doflamingo, an absolute beast right now. Like I was saying, this is one of those cards, I've been saying it for the longest time. I know a lot of people were really hyped about the new Law and Beppo that came out in ST24 or whatever the number is. And I have to say, I just don't think you can beat Doflamingo. You'd have to print something outrageously strong to try to beat Doflamingo. That effect, I've said this before, guys. Doflamingo might have the strongest chain ability in the game. What do I mean when I say chain ability? I mean, like, to chain the character. Like, a lot of characters, you might not want to chain them one after another, after another, after another, because it just might not present enough value. But Doflamingo is a 10-cost character that you actually do want to chain pretty much over and over and over again, because it locks down 3 threats, period, right? Those 3 threats, they're out of here. They're gone. Okay, moving on. You know what I mean? And you just keep going from there. So it's like, if you can do that turn after turn after turn while developing a 10,000 power body, that is disastrous for your opponent. And if you are able to establish something like a Cavendish or a Basil Hawkins or an Uruge before all that, and now you're getting the extra Dawn back every turn after playing out the Doflamingo, it's pretty much wraps, right? It's pretty much lights out for your opponent. Draco Mihawk, another just incredible card, and that makes a lot of sense why we're seeing the 4-cost Uruge as a 3-of and the 4-cost Basil Hawkins as a 2k counter as a 3-of. On your 8 Dawn turn, you're going to be able to curve out. You're going to be able to go Draco Mihawk, stand up for Dawn. Okay, I'll play out an Uruge or a Basil Hawkins, and then pass the turn. I get a Dawn back at the end of my turn now from these effects here. That's going to be able to set down a character, you know, lock down a character with my Bonney when they go to attack in next turn, and I have an 8,000 power blocker. And now going into my 10 Dawn turn, if they did not deal with one of those 2 cards, well, now I slam down Doflamingo, and now you're really in trouble. Right now, you're really in trouble. So it's really cool to see that. Another thing about Kishiro, I did ask Lysol. I asked the winner, you know, of the tournament, Lysol, in the interview. We did a quick interview, and I was like, well, what do you think about Rosinante? Because, you know, Rosinante can help protect your board and stuff like that. And I was like, and you're not, I mean, we did talk about how he's not running, notice he's not running 8-cost Eustace Captain Kidd, and, you know, therefore Rosinante loses some value for sure. But we talked about it, and what Lysol said was, with Kishiro, the nice thing about this card is, think about with Cavendish. If I go 5 Dawn, right, okay, play out Cavendish. Okay, if I play out a Rosinante, you could stand 2 Dawn as active, right, and then play out a Rosinante. Well, it can't protect my Cavendish from KO. KO is still probably the largest form of removal in the game currently. But here's the thing. Kishiro can actually protect Cavendish. Rosinante can't unless the Cavendish is already sideways. So the Kashiro in that way is way more protective of Cavendish, because it's like, okay, on a 5 Dawn turn, or a 6 Dawn turn is even better, so you have 1 Dawn left for your leader effect. But on a 5 Dawn turn, you play out Cavendish, you get 2 Dawn as active, you play out the Kashiro, and you say, all right, your turn. I've got a blocker. I'm going to take a hit here if I have to, but either way, you know, we're going to go from there, and now my Cavendish is protected. And like I said, if it's a 6 Dawn turn, it's even better. Going second with this deck, highly preferable, guys. Highly preferable going second. Because, okay, you know, you have your turn 1 Jory Bonney play. That's fine. Do that. Make your opponent attack into that. Sure, be my guest. Next turn, you slam down an Uruj. You go from there. Next turn, your 6 Dawn turn, you play out the Cavendish to do the play we just talked about. You play out Cavendish. You stand 2 Dawn as active. You play out the Kashiro. You have 1 Dawn left for your leader effect. Then next turn, you go in with the Dracula Mihawk, followed by the Doflamingo. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting curve. That'll get him every time. But going first is not terrible either, and we're about to see that when we check out for the finals game here. Guys, going first is not the worst thing in the world either. It's, you know, going second's better, but going first isn't terrible, because we have a very nice, you know, turn 1, play out the Jory Bonney. Turn 2 on your 3 Dawn turn, you probably can just develop a Kashiro, a Tashigi. Well, search with Bonney and develop a Kashiro, or develop a Kashiro and keep a Dawn active for your leader effect, or develop the Tashigi. Then going into your 5 Dawn turn, no problem, let's play out Cavendish or Carrot. And then on our 7 Dawn turn, you just slam down Hody Jones right on curve. And now you're presenting a threat to your opponent. You're pushing down their characters or their Dawn or whatever, attacking into the board. And then going into your 9 Dawn turn, whatever they try to attack with, Shanks is going to deal with. And then you just start curving out from there, you know, just sitting on like your Doflamingos and going from there, just filling out your board super wide. So really cool stuff here, really good stuff. Really cool, really good. All right. That, I believe, is it for all the different deck lists. Now, we are going to hop over to the tournament from last night. Okay, let me go ahead and go full screen here and adjust my camera. And this is the finals game I'm going to talk over in 2x speed. Okay, I'm going to talk over this in 2x speed. Let me go volume off, speed 2x, and here we go. All right, so this is the final game we're about to go over. This was Lysol versus Von Morrow, Bonney versus Bonney, finals. Okay, excuse me, let me pause real quick. The player at the top is Lysol. The player at the bottom is Von Morrow. Player at the top had to go first. Turn 1, nothing from both players. Turn 2, swing 7, leave it on active, and pass the turn. They take the hit, they're down to 4. Okay, now swing for 5. Looks like they're going to take that hit. Okay, and now 4 Dawn, play out the Uruj, standing a Dawn up at the end of turn. And now 5 Dawn turn for the player at the top. Lysol's going to swing for 6 here. Player on the bottom, Von Morrow's going to take it, and then play out an Uruj of their own, and here we go. Now things are about to get spicy, because if they attack, okay, pay 1, tap down your Uruj, okay, and 1k counter out, and now it's a 6 Dawn turn. Let's see what they do. Play out the Cavendish, standing 3 is active, then they have 3. They're going to play out the Kashiro for 2, and 1 Dawn active still for the Bonney, and they play out another Bonney, and then the Uruj stands a Dawn up at the end of the turn. Really powerful turn for the player at the bottom here. But Hody Jones does have something to say about that. They're going to play that out. They're going to rest down the Cavendish and a Dawn, and then they're going to be able to rest down the leader. 8 into 6. Can they save it? Looks like they can. I'm sorry, guys. We can't see the player's hand at the bottom left because it was a tournament. I had to hide that in case someone was trying to watch because we were live streaming it. I had to cover up cards. That's why it looks this way, in case someone was trying to cheat or something like that. You never know with Lysol, right? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, guys. Yeah, you got to be careful with that, though. You know, we want to keep the integrity of the tournament as high as possible. Okay, so here we go. So Von Morrow at the bottom here, they're going to choose to, it looks like they might choose to search first with the Jory Bonney. They're on an 8 Dawn turn. An 8 cost Dracula Mihawk is probably what they would really like to see right here, but they might just not have it. Okay, top 5 search with Bonney. They still have 7 Dawn to work with for the turn, and they have the Cavendish to stand Dawn up as active as well. Okay, they're going to attack with Cavendish first. Let's see where they choose to go. 6 into 5, they're going into the Uruj, so it can't be ignored. It has to be countered or they lose a character. Lysol will lose their character if they don't protect it here. Now, they're going to use their leader effect to tap down the leader. That's 1 less attacker to worry about. And there was another option. Okay, pause. Let's talk about it. There was another option there where they could have chosen to tap down the Kashiro and go for that on this next turn. But either way, they lock down the bigger threat, the bigger attacker in Bonney, and then Von Morrow leaves 3 Dawn active after developing Carrot for the turn, locking down the Hody Jones. Okay, here we go. Now it's back to Lysol's turn, the player at the top, the Bonney player at the top. I remember what happens here, guys. You know what's better than Hody Jones? Guys, there is something actually better, better than Hody Jones within green. You're about to see what it is. You're about to see what's better than Hody Jones. That's right. 2 Hody Jones. That's right, guys. 2 Hody Jones is actually better than 1 Hody Jones. So you tap down the blocker and the carrot. They go 8 into 6. This is brutal. They tap down the leader. 7 into 6 here. And here we go. Going to stand a Dawn is active at the end of the turn. They do get out of all the attacks. And it was at this point, the player at the bottom, Von Morrow, they started running out of cards in hand. They were running very, very low on cards in hand. But they're on a 10 Dawn turn. Something like a 10-cost Doflamingo could get them back into this game. But remember the list we already saw, guys. I think they were only running, I believe they were only running 2 Doflamingos. So let's see if they actually have it. All right, here we go. 6 into 5, resting down the Cavendish with the leader effect. 5 more into 5, leaving 10 Dawn still active for the turn. And let's see what happens here. Deploy, 8-cost Eustace Captain Kidd. Okay, 1 Dawn under it. And watch this, guys. Okay, 10 Dawn turn for Bonney. 9-cost Shanks. 10 Dawn turn for the top player, the Bonney on the top there, Lysol. They KO. There was no Rosinante to go with that Eustace Captain Kidd, and that is not a slash attribute character, so Kashiro cannot protect it. 6 into 6. This is going to be devastating. Yep, and they did... I think, did they not have extra Dawn for the turn? I think they didn't have enough Dawn for the turn to use their leader effect, so that does hurt big time. Okay, here we go. Hody Jones for the player at the bottom, for Von Morrow at the bottom. They're going to tap down the 5-cost Rouge and the Dawn. They're going 5 into 5. Now they're going to be able to play out the Cavendish and smash in here. And, okay, pause. It was at this point in the game. It was at this point in the game where I actually thought that the player on the bottom should have gone for lethal. I know that sounds crazy. Sorry if you guys hear my stomach. I'm starting to get hungry. I actually thought that the player on the bottom should have gone for lethal. I thought they should have gone, okay, slam down Hody Jones. I'm going to attach a Dawn to my Cavendish to swing for 7 into your leader. That's going to take 2 cards from hand, and they get 2 Dawn back from that, so they would still have 4 Dawn left for the turn. They could go swing 7, swing 8, swing 9. Okay, that's what I thought they should have done, and if it didn't pan out in that way, right, if that ended up not being the case where, like, they counter out of the first attack, no problem. Now we go into the board, right? Now we go into the board. But either way, they decided to try to play this a little bit more cautiously. They attacked into the Hody Jones, and let's see what happens here. But I do think going for lethal here would have been a very, very interesting idea. Okay, 7 into 5 now. Okay. 7 into 5. Let's see if this goes through or if they counter out. Now, if they counter out, I would go for the board. But if they don't counter out, well, then you have to just go for face and try to win next turn, right? You pretty much just have to go for face and try to win on the crackback next turn with something like a Hody Jones or whatever. But here we go. 4 Dawn left for the turn. They can go 12 into a Hody Jones, or they could go maybe 11 into Hody Jones, leave a Dawn as active. But I'm going to be honest, guys. I think going 10 into Hody Jones here is probably the best bet, because that way you leave a Kashiro and 2 Dawn as active, right? So that would allow you to get around another Hody Jones in case Lysol has a 3rd Hody Jones at the top. Then you can get around that. So 8 into 8. Okay, they're going to get out of that. Okay, and they're going to go ahead and do a search with Jory Bonney, probably searching for counter power. Because, guys, I mean, look, they're 2 life. They're only on 2 life here, guys. This could be really scary, especially if Lysol has a 3rd Hody Jones. Guys, you know what's better than 2 Hody Jones? Guys, do you know what's better than 2 Hody Jones? Someone tell me in the comment section below. Someone tell me what you think is better than 2 Hody Jones. Is anything better than 2 Hody Jones? I don't know. Maybe a third? Maybe a 3rd Hody Jones, guys? Remember, we're in 2x speed right now. This is the championship match. So, you know, the player at the top there, Lysol, they're really considering their options. They're like, you know what? This is the point of no return. If I choose to play out a 3rd Hody Jones, it is game over. I either win right now or I lose right now. Okay, so here we go. Yes, 3rd Hody Jones. That's right, a 3rd Hody Jones. Now, of course, the first attack, guys, pop quiz. What does the first attack need to be? We're playing against Bonney. What does the first attack need to be? That's right, guys. The Shanks. The Shanks needs to be the first attack. So here we go. And after that, it will be swing 9. Well, excuse me. It'll be, so swing 11 with Shanks. That's basically going through no matter what, right? Swing 11 with Shanks, and then there's still 3 Dawn left. And you'll be able to swing 7 with your leader because they're going to tap down 1 Hody Jones, and then swing 8, swing 9. Okay, they tap down a Hody Jones. Now it's it's swing 8. I'm not sure why we swung for 12, but we swung for 12 there. I think 11 would have been fine, but then it's going to be swing 7 and then 8, 8. And guys, there were only 3 cards left, I believe, in the Jewelry Bonnie's hand. They got out of 1 attack, swing 8, and now swing 8. They did not have enough to get out of it. GG. GG to both players. Good game to everyone. Thank you to everybody who participated in this tournament. This was such a blast. It was so much fun. We are looking to do more of these in the future. So if you're wondering, like, hey, how can I get in on the next one? You need to join the Discord, okay? How do you get in on the next tournament? Join the Discord. That's your best bet, okay? But I think we'll have another one of these tournaments in the not-so-distant future. And this was a free win-a-box tournament. Let me explain how the bracket system works, guys, because we're about to finish up this video here. Let me talk about how it works. So it's a 64-player tournament, and the way that we do it with these free win-a-box tournaments is there are 4 pods. This allows it to run very smoothly, very quickly, and so I can always be spectating through games as we're playing. Because, guys, let me just go through. There were a lot of games we went through last night. Look at all these games we went through. There were a whole lot of different games that we went through during the tournament, right? There was a lot of different games we went through. And that's possible because of the bracket system we use. There are 4 different pods, and both of those are going to play 4 rounds. Okay, and think of it like this: it's a 64-player tournament, right? So that means there's 16 players in all 4 pods. That equals 64 players. Okay, so those 16-player pods, they all do 4 rounds. The 2 best win-loss ratio, percentages or whatever. At the end of that, the 2 best from each pod, they make it to top 8, and then we just go straight through in a single elimination bracket from there. So top 8 into top 4 into top 2, into the finals. So that's kind of how it's laid out. Here's the deck list again. Really good stuff. And that's about it, guys. I was gonna do the interview. I might have to clip that in later. We'll see about that. But yeah, we will. I'm going to clip the interview in right now, guys, between me and Lysol, so that way you guys can hear what he's talking about, okay? Yo, what's up, man?
What up?
Yo, congratulations, Lysol. Bro, that was freaking awesome. When I saw you curve out and go Hody first, I knew you were looking very good.
Yeah, no, I kept that open. Well, he took first.
Or second, right?
Mostly, he took second. You mostly want to go second in the mirror.
Yeah.
Just because you can throw your 8 Mihawk down first, but I went first, and then my opening hand had 2 Hodies in it, so I was just like, I think I'll keep this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, okay, good.
And then he kept on countering out, too, of all those hits.
That was my concern as well. When I saw his hand size start to get... Because remember, at first he had 9 cards in hand. It was like, holy crap, right? Let me get your... you got the list up? Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I saw him have 9 cards in hand, I was like, oh, crap. This is looking scary. But then it was like Hody Jones and a Hody Jones and a Hody Jones. And yeah, that was awesome. And I like that you're not running Eustace Kid. I think that's old technology. I don't think we need Eustace Kid anymore.
It does not feel good into Rayleigh and Zoro, which are 2 of the top decks right now.
Right. And it also lets you play Kashiro a little bit more confidently. But what do you think about Kashiro versus Rosinante? Turn this music off. There we go.
I think if you're running a Kid, you play Rosinante. Koshiro, so against say you go against a yellow deck, or just any deck that can KO 5 costs pretty much. On your 5/6 on turn, you want to play at your Cavendish with the Koshiro, so then your opponent has no way to remove it on their turn.
Yeah.
So your Cavendish will stay alive the whole time. If you use Rosinante, the Cavendish isn't rested, so they can just KO it.
Gotcha. And it hits almost all the relevant targets in this deck, right? I mean, it protects.
I'm the only one it really protects is Cavendish, honestly,
Gotcha.
and that's the only reason.
Yeah, that's
Only
fair.
reason it's there.
Hey, that is fair, like you're saying. And that way you can play it out right on curve. And the nice way with how Cavendish is, it's like, okay, you play out Cavendish, you're always going to have 2 Dawn as active afterwards, at least. So boom, Kashiro slams down, protects him, and you're good to go.
Oh yeah, well on 5 Dawn, you Cavendish, reset 2, and then play it. You'll have no Dawn active on your 5 Dawn turn, but it's fine if you can keep the Cavendish alive for a turn.
Gotcha. Yeah. Now, okay, what were your matchups today? Like, run through your matchup spread real quick for us. If you can remember them all, right?
Yeah. Round 1 was Shanks. Round 2 was Amir. Round 3 was Amir. Round 4 was Koala. And then
Koala. Wow.
Yeah, Koala. Then top cut was round 1 Koala.
Oh, was it a rematch literally against the person?
No, it was a different Koala.
Whoa. Okay. Okay.
Second was the purple Luffy, and then last one was the mirror.
Nice. Okay. So about 3 mirrors, 2 black yellow koalas, a Shanks, and a purple Luffy.
Yeah. So I mean, the koalas isn't that hard of a deck to beat. You can play out your 8 and 10 drops, take a life. It's fine.
Yeah. It's almost like they work like Hody Jones there.
I think the Koala was up to like 6 or 7 life in my match because I just kept on attacking into the
Kumas.
The Kumas.
Yep. Yeah. Just absolutely control the board and just don't even care about it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And then the hardest one was the Shanks, which is just normally that's a losing matchup for Bonney. I think I just got lucky that he was completely bricked up. I was like, well, I gotta go for game with Hody. If I don't, I lose next turn.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes that's what it comes down to, man. That's what makes it so hard to win the big tournaments, right? Every now and then you just have to go for it. It is what it is. Now, your only loss was to another Bonney, right? It was in the when you went 3-1.
Yeah, the one you were streaming.
Yeah. So I mean, altogether, Bonney looking pretty good. Now, you didn't run into any Rayleighs, right? We saw one Rayleigh earlier, but you didn't run into any Rayleighs?
No Rayleigh.
I wonder how many people played Rayleigh. I can't wait to see the breakdown of decks in the tournament. Hopefully I have that by tomorrow for the video. But
I was hoping to play a Rayleigh or a what is it? I was hoping to play at least a Rayleigh, Kuzan, or a Zoro because I'm pretty sure I'm just favored into all 3 of those.
Super favorite. So. Yeah, we were talking about that too. It's funny. Like the first game we saw today, or tonight, I guess, was a Zoro, green Zoro into Rayleigh, and that Zoro got run over. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Right.
See, I was in between playing Zoro or Bonney tonight, so.
Yeah. And the poor Zoro, man, he just got trucked. Yeah, he tried. He put up a good effort, obviously, but it just didn't even. It seemed like Rayleigh was just strictly favored, you know. And yeah, that was the only Rayleigh we saw for the entire night. But you would have loved to have seen Rayleighs in your matchups, right?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I was going back and forth between Zoro and Bonney just because those are my 2. Well, I've been playing green, so it's just it's another good green supernova deck.
Right. Yeah, I still think that Bonnie's better.
I didn't expect much black just because of Zoro. So I'm not expecting Lucci or like Teach or anything like that. So I'm like, well, if no one plays that, I just don't go up against that. I should have a decent matchup into everything else.
Exactly. Yeah, because like you're saying, like the worst matchup you want to see is like anything with super heavy black removal, and then what else did you say?
Teach and Lucci.
Teach and Lucci. That's about it. Okay. How is your Zoro matchup? The green Zoro one.
It's slightly favored.
Slightly favored.
If I take second and see, because I'll just go second, let them go first. Don't care. Because that means, because if you go first, if they take second, if you don't establish anything and they play down a queen on 4, then just don't swing. And then you play at your Cavendish on 5 with your blocker.
And they
can use they can queen at the blocker, then Tashigi the Cavendish, and you have no way to protect it.
Yeah.
if you go second, then they don't have anything to play on their 3 Dawn turn. They'll just swing 8 at you, or maybe swing 6 and play a blocker. But then on your 6 Dawn turn, you can play Cavendish into the blocker and still have a Dawn up for leader ability.
That's awesome. Yeah, that does make sense. Like, the even curve for for Zoro is kind of gross, right? Turn 1 Searcher, even if it's the Hiyori, Perona or Hiyori, turn 1 going second, turn 2 the Kawina, turn 3 the Tashigi, turn 4 into the 8 cost Mihawk. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that is kind of gross.
Yeah, and this is like a typical Zoro list that I've been running to.
Yeah. Running that 4 cost Zoro in there, huh? That card's so annoying.
Yeah, no, that's just for the mirror.
Oh, yeah.
And also Green Yellow Law, ironically.
Yeah, they have a lot of slash, don't they? They got the Cavendish, they got the Laws. Yeah, that makes sense. It's actually very strong into that. Well, that is awesome, man. What any revision? So after you just went through everything today, is there any kind of revision you would make to this list, just off the top of your head?
I mean, I'm... The whole, well, I won't say I lost my 1 round mostly because I didn't see the Hody.
Right.
But also it's if they get that Rosinante down, if they get the Rosinante down with the 8-drop kid, I basically have to swing into it because I'm really not running much of an answer to 8-drop kid in this deck.
Right.
It would either be like maybe throw in like a couple 9 Zoros or just bring it back up with Kid if I'm expecting more Bonney. But the way it sits now, I'm pretty happy with it, honestly. I don't think I would change anything right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too. Looks good.
I mean, I was 2 for 3 in mirror matches, so.
Yeah. Wait, two for 1, right? 2 out of 3, you're saying?
2 out of 3, yeah.
Okay.
And I think I would have been 3 out of 3 if I had just seen a Hody by like turn 18.
Yep, yeah, that game was insane, bro. Like, it was like literally like turn 14 or 15, right?
Yeah, something like that. No Hody Jones.
Yeah, that was insane. Because we went over, we were like, oh, let's see what Lysol's doing. He's in the game right now. And we're like, oh, wait, this is like a real game. Like, they're actually still playing it. We got in at like turn 9, and y'all both still had like 2 and 3 life or something. It was like, holy crap, dude, this is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you get the Hody, you get to just kind of blast through and like accelerate the game. You know?
You see 3 Hodys in a row. Yeah. Who'd have thought?
See, man, is there any chance you can fit in a few of those event searchers? Is there any chance, Lysol?
No.
Oh, no.
That is it is a 2-cost searcher. With if they gave it like a 1K counter on it, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put a little 1 plus 1,000 in the corner of that thing, and then you could probably use it to. I mean, even then, I don't think you replace because Bonney searcher is just a pseudo blocker.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're going to swing. They're going to swing. They're going to swing into it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I would keep the Bonney for sure. Yeah, I was even thinking
I was possibly thinking like if there was going to be a lot of green, just running the Kid Killer Searcher though instead, just because you can always use it to play around Hody.
Which one? Which card?
The Kid Killer Searcher.
Oh, Kid and Killer. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, that does help get around it.
Stand it down back up.
Exactly. Yeah. Not too bad. And, now green actually has some cycle, which is nice. You've got some beiges in here. You got the 5-cost Bonney. Was there any, like, all-star tonight? Like, these, other than Hody? So, other than Hody, was there any card that was just like, yeah, every time I had this, like, I felt like I'm in a good shape?
Just Tendofi.
Yeah.
Tendofi.
When we were watching you play, it was against the Purple Luffy. We watched that matchup, right? That was you?
Yeah.
When you chained those Dofis, like, I couldn't say anything. I didn't want, just in case the other player was listening or something. It was like, oh my God. When I saw the double 10 Dofis, I was like, oh, man. Oh, it's over.
I got a little ahead of myself. I did forget. It's like
to swing with
I messed up once. I was like, I hope this doesn't come to bite me.
It was close. There was only 2 times I saw any mess up. They were literally both in the purple Luffy matchup.
I'm lucky he stood a Dawn up, because if he had not stood a kept a Dawn active and swung just 9, that's a loss right there. I only had counter for 8.
Well, that's what I was going to say too. Was there was a turn right before that where I thought you should have blocked with a Mihawk. It was a 7K hit into your 6K of some sort. It might have been Cavendish or something. And I was like, okay, nice. He's going to be able to get the free block with Mihawk, and then something else from there. But he had 9 Dawn up.
No, I was playing around the rush Luffy.
Right, but and that's what I was going to say is like you had a Bonney as well. You know what I mean? You had the 5 cost Bonney, and I was like, oh crap, he could just block if it comes down.
I think I was trying this just to make sure I could keep both.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. I had the counter, so I'm like, I just give him the counter at this point. I mean, because I was about to chain 10 Dofis, so I wasn't worried about 3 of those swings in the coming up turns.
Right. Yeah, that'll be fun to watch later. Like, you know what I mean? You'll be able to watch this later and be like, oh man, that was crazy. That game was crazy. You know, that was a lot of fun. I love...
Don't take advice from me. I have no cereals or anything like that, though.
No, man. What do you mean? Hey, you just won a 64-player tournament, bro. It's not a little tournament. And people weren't playing like jank. I mean, there were some players playing jank, but, you know, like, people were trying to win a box, bro. You know what I'm saying? People were trying to win a box here. So it's like, no, this was a good indicator.
Like Nate playing Jinbe.
Dude, I mean, he made it all the way to top 8, though. He almost got...
I mess with Nate. He's probably listening and laughing now.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. A lot of good community here. But dude, we watched his game. That was the first game we watched in the finals or in the top 8 or whatever.
That was disheartening. I was sad.
It was very close.
If it was me and Nate in the finals, that'd been hilarious.
Oh, that would have been wild. Yeah, that'd have been a good time. All the banter too, endless banter. You know, banter for years. But yeah. Well, man, I don't want to keep you for too long because I'm also not even going to stay up for too much longer. I've been up for the extra time now because of this tournament. But congratulations, Lysol. Any last thing you want to say on here? Any kind of plugs? You want to make fun of people in the chat or something? Now's your chance.
Nah, I can't really think of it right now. Bonney best deck in format, I guess.
Easy. Know. Easy peasy. Awesome. Right. You have a good night, Lysol. Congratulations again. Green is completely broken. Ban Hody and no. But have a good night, man.
Yep, you too, man.
Later. All right, guys, that's about it. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Guys, if you are liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing my stuff, if you're using my TCG Player affiliate link, if you're donating through Patreon or PayPal, if you're a Playmat supporter, a YouTube member, or part of the Discord community, thank you guys so much. Hope y'all enjoyed. And yeah, until next time, guys, peace.